Hey guys, Peter here for another How To Tuesday. Today I want to talk about how to do Holy Week. This is a huge week for us as Catholics, huge week for all Christians around the world, really leading up to Easter Sunday and what that means for us as a Christian people. And this is a huge time for us to draw closer to the Lord, and that's the whole point of Holy Week. How can we draw into closer relationship with Him through reflecting upon what happened during this week in His life and what it leads to for us down the road. And so really want to hit on what is Holy Week and how we can best reflect upon what has happened and use that in order to draw closer into relationship with Him. So Holy Week, starting with Palm Sunday, is just the beginning, understanding this was walking through the Passion, right? We talk about that in the Gospel story, we read through the Passion, and start to reflect upon this. It really sets up a good intro, in a sense, to what the rest of Holy Week is going to contain for us. So it really puts us in the right state of mind moving through the rest of this week, that this is not just an ordinary week for us as a Catholic people. This is a huge time for us to start to reflect upon that and get in the right mindset. So then we move into the Easter Triduum, which is Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and the Easter Vigil. So using Holy Thursday as a way to reflect upon what this means for us in terms of the Eucharist. So Eucharist obviously is a source and summit of our Christian life. This is what we have come to receive, and this was put into place at the Last Supper on Holy Thursday by Christ. So what I would ask you to do is to reflect upon what this means. Put yourself at that table with Christ during the Last Supper. Those words that He speaks to His apostles, the priest is speaking to us at the Mass. We are praying and worshiping through those same words that Christ used during the Last Supper. So how do we respond to that? Right? When we're at Mass and we're giving a response during Mass, are we just using muscle memory and just saying kind of what we normally say? Or are we reflecting upon exactly what we're saying and why we are responding that to Christ at the Mass? So really use that as a way to reflect upon how you're responding at Mass, the words that we're using, and how you are understanding the Mass from that point, because that was the institution of the Eucharist, and is understanding how big that is for our entire Catholic life and how we live that out. Moving into Good Friday, this is obviously a very solemn day for us as Catholics, as Christians. This is a day that was hard for many people to take, and just to understand why Christ had to die in this way in order for us to experience the joy. But I would ask that you use this, slow down your life, right? I think there's a lot of times where things just continue to roll, and it's hard to slow down our lives, but if we can slow down our life, especially for Good Friday, to really understand the humanity that Christ had, that He had to go through and suffer and die for us in order to experience the joy of Easter Sunday. Take time to reflect upon that. Good Friday is a day that I usually end up watching the Passion. I know that's a very vivid movie, but it does call to mind and show a lot of things that Christ had to go through in order for us to share in eternal life moving forward. He had to go through that in order for us to share in eternal life. So maybe you don't have to watch the Passion, but do something in terms of reflecting upon the pain that Christ had to go through, dying on the cross and suffering for us in order that we can experience Sunday. If you can do that, if you can reflect upon the pain that He had on Good Friday, it's going to make Easter Sunday and the joy that we experience tenfold better than what we could even imagine. So really do your best to reflect upon that, understand the pain that He had to experience that joy then on Sunday. So moving into the Easter Vigil then on Saturday night, beautiful way of entering some new members into the church, entering Him into the relationship with Christ, but it's a way for us to continue to renew our relationship with Christ as well, that understanding that we had the pain of Good Friday, but that we have so much hope in Him because of His resurrection and what He offers us. So then that moves into Easter Sunday, and again, that joy that we experience. And obviously I would use Sunday as a day of just pure joy, right? Spending that with your family, our most joyful part of our lives is our family. Let's use that. Let's not take that for granted in any kind of way. So let's spend the day with them, obviously after worshiping in Mass, and then we just spend the day in joy all day with our family, and just understanding the great love that He has for us and what He's done for us. So let's use that on Sunday through that. But I would encourage you throughout this Easter Triduum on Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and then into Easter Sunday, that we understand really what Christ had to go through, and use that to draw closer into relationship with Him, which is the entire point of Holy Week from the get-go. So I encourage you to check out our website for the Mass times, service times, all of that coming up. A lot going on here at the church. We'd love to see you around, but use this time to draw closer into relationship with Him and have a great Holy Week, and looking forward to the joy of Easter Sunday. But thanks, guys, for stopping by for another How To Tuesday. Look forward to seeing you for another one. Thanks, guys.